comes to wide receiver one, I have to look at the whole unit of wide receiver himself. Like he can be great, he can be talented, but how's that whole offense going to give it to him? What's that volume going to look like? So the question for me is Kirk Cousins in a situation that's going to give Adam Thielen the opportunities that he needs?
Right here.
What is up? Before we get you to your video, I just wanted to say, if you are new to our channel, please consider joining Whisper Nation. Hit that subscribe. Hit that bell notification so you get notified anytime we drop new content. The fantasy football season is coming up fast. We want to help get you that championship that everyone covets. So make sure you hit that subscribe. And also, if you like this content, you like our content, please consider giving this video a thumbs up. It really helps our channel grow. Appreciate you guys. All right, let's get you to that video.
So, Johnny, Chelsea, we're going to talk a little bit about Adam Thielen first. He's a bounce-back candidate in 2020 if you look at the way he was injured and such last year. So I just got to ask, Johnny, will Adam Thielen complete the bounce-back in 2020? Can he get back to that ceiling that he had a couple years ago?
So when you look at what Adam Thielen did last year, he had obviously a really bad down season, right? Everyone was projecting him to be kind of Kirk Cousins' go-to wide receiver, and he was in and out of the lineup with injuries. And then over the offseason, Stephon Diggs gets traded, and they did bring in rookie wide receiver Justin Jefferson. So the initial thought process is, okay, guys, Adam Thielen should be good, and there will be targets there, but Justin Jefferson is also a volume guy, and Justin Jefferson's going into the slot, where that's where Adam Thielen feasted on, and that's where you really want Adam Thielen if you own Adam Thielen, if you have Adam Thielen on your roster this year. And so, you're adding up all these things, and then, COVID hits. You got, this question to how much, rookie wide receivers are going to impact this year at all. And so everything is just lining up for Adam Thielen, to really return on his ADPs. Wide receiver 10 off the board and coming off midway through the third round. And to be honest with you, it's like, Adam Thielen, if you draft him, there is a path to where he could return that value. There is a very clear path to where he could return that value. But unfortunately for me, I just don't know if I trust that path or if I am extremely sold on that path. And so for me, I just find myself skipping over Adam Thielen a lot. Now, is that to say, Adam Thielen is going to be a bad wide receiver this year? I don't think he will be. But I think that where you're drafting him could possibly be a ceiling, and so that's what scares me. I don't know if there's much room for him to improve on that. And so that's why I'm ultimately chased off of Adam Thielen a lot this year.
Yeah, he's kind of in that dead zone, I feel like, in between the end of the second or the end of the second, beginning of the third, somewhere in there. And I just haven't been able to pull the trigger a lot. But if you look, last year, prior to the injury, he started the first 6 weeks as the wide receiver 8.5 PPR. Cousins had 131.9 passer rating when he targeted Thielen, and he didn't even have an interception. You look at Diggs leaving. More importantly, that's 110 vacated targets, 24% of the team's market share. So I think that you can feel icky and weird about drafting Adam Thielen, but the path for his volume is clearly there. He is grandfathered into a lot of targets in this offense with a guy that trusts him in Kirk Cousins. You've talked about a COVID offseason. Justin Jefferson is a rookie. He has not gotten the reps over years that Adam Thielen has gotten. And so I think, it's not your most exciting, sexy wide receiver pick in Adam Thielen, but this is kind of the story with Adam Thielen. He was a walk-on in college. He earned his spot on the Vikings. Like, he's been undervalued in the years past and performed on it. I don't know if I'm personally ready to do it there, but I understand how people get there.
Let me ask you this. How confident, and Billy Chelsea, let me you chime in here as well. Look, how confident would you feel if Adam Thielen was your wide receiver 1? That's what hangs me up, because if you go, running back, and then you're looking at your first wide receiver in the third round, I'm sorry, I have more confidence in David Johnson or Chris Carson or maybe even Le'Veon Bell over Adam Thielen. So, I would much rather have these players. And so that's where I get hung up because of where he's going.
Sure. When it comes to wide receiver one, I have to look at the whole unit of wide receiver himself. Like he can be great, he can be talented, but how's that whole offense going to give it to him? What's that volume going to look like? So the question for me is Kirk Cousins in a situation that's going to give Adam Thielen the opportunities that he needs? And we see that the offensive line on the Vikings has dropped in ranking significantly since last year. It was coming into the 2019 season ranked 19th, and it slipped down to, I think, the 23rd or 24th offensive line. So that doesn't bode immediately well for a strong Kirk Cousins situation. But I'm interested to hear what Travi's take on it is.
No, I like what you said there, because that is a concern. If we're not going to be running a lot, and the offensive line isn't very good, we could get into a situation where this team is in dire straits with an offensive line, especially if they move Thielen to the outside. They're going to have to run a lot of play action, and that's going to take time for that to develop. Now, you can have success without running the ball very well. This team should be set up to run the ball well. I think play action could benefit Adam Thielen, who hasn't been so great when he's outside on one-on-one coverage with some of those shadow corners. I think Johnny's point really hits it home here. When you're sitting there and you've got, Adam Thielen or Allen Robinson, DJ Moore, even OBJ, some of these guys going around him or a little bit after him, I think maybe you have to take a chance on going running back here on some of those old, battle-torn veterans at running back, as opposed to a battle-torn wide receiver, who isn't the greatest prospect in the NFL.
Thank you for listening to the Fantasy Whisperers podcast. You can hear more from John and Travis on Google Play, SoundCloud, and iTunes. You can also follow us on Instagram, Facebook, and Twitter at TF Whisperers.